So at the request of my fiance, I'm going to be opening up her Animal Crossing figures from the Tomodachi doll line. But yeah, there's a lot of good things to say about it. Personally, I don't think there's any bad figures, especially if you're just a huge fan of the specific characters. There are a few I want to say I nitpick, as well as some that I don't agree with some of the design choices with the line. So a bit of an info dump. Animal Crossing is a video game series by Nintendo. It's a video game series similar to The Sims as well as Stardew Valley, where essentially you are simulating life with a village full of anthropomorphic animals. There's a lot to say since this game goes all the way back to Nintendo 64, or technically Nintendo GameCube if you're in the US. And yeah, there's a lot of different NPCs and different villagers that have been added over the years. This series is very lacking in terms of collector figures. If you were to look at figures in the past, they were only really available for NPCs, which are the characters that you have to talk to in order to like progress with the game. They aren't the same as the villager types, so which is what you see here. Those NPC characters would occasionally get amiibos. They would be used to connect to your Nintendo Switches as well as your Nintendo DSs for additional add-ons to the game. When they released these Tomodachi dolls, these were very popular, mostly just because you could finally get a figure of your favorite character. Granted though that the line is still fairly young. There's like currently like 7 to 9 figures per each series. So in total there's probably only like 33 characters that they've released so far. And yeah, there's plenty of more to be released as well too. Also to add, these Tomodachi doll figures also are trying to mimic the likeness of fur. So if you were to touch one of these figures, you would feel like kind of like a coarse type of fabric on the figures if you were to touch them. Again, it's supposed to try to mimic fur on these characters because they are, after all, villagers. They are, after all, anthropomorphic animal villagers. So yeah, they're trying to mimic the likeness of fur. Starting off with Judy. Judy is a very cute figure too. She's one of the newer characters added to Animal Crossing New Horizons, and although there's already not a lot of merchandise on these figures, she's a really interesting cosmic looking bear. She has like these twinkle like stars in her eyes, and she has like a maid outfit. Good figure, great attention to detail from this company. The next figure up I have is Aurora. Captures the bulbous shape of the penguins very easily, and again, very cute figure. Also, the cool thing too is when they add the details to the fabric or to the fur and feathers of the characters, they also will do it for the outfits too if it dictates it. So Aurora has like this winter jacket, very cute. Next up is Apollo. Apollo is a bald eel, very OG villager from like the I think first game, and he comes with a bomber jacket too, and this is when we kind of see some sort of separation in terms of touch with other fabrics. You can kind of clearly distinct of what is like a artificial piece of clothing to like the actual fur or feathers of the character. Very smooth, very cool looking too. And yeah, next up is Goldie. Goldie they just downright captured her essence very well. She looks like her character, and great attention to the details on her spots. Her dress is something I kind of would have thought would have felt more like the fabric of the fur. They instead went with like a soft plastic fur dress, which isn't bad, just something I thought about went on. The next figure is Beau. Beau is a very good figure as well too. I do disagree with his skin tone because of the fabric that he used to create him. It gives him more of a pastel color when in game he has more of a saturated brown orange look to him. Still a good figure, just something I would nitpick about. And for the next figure, I think it's a lot worse. Blathers is one of the NPCs that you can talk to in the game. He handles the museum side of it. The figure is pretty good. Like they did capture his likeness to an extent. I'm not a fan of the fabric that they used to make these Tomodachi dolls on him, just because one, they desaturate his look. He definitely has more of a brown hue to his like coat. Also, and when I was like kind of setting up this figure, the eyes felt a little out of place, so maybe I just got a bad one. It looks like there's like a very clear separation of the eyes and skin, like indentures, so I feel like maybe it almost feels like I can touch the glue that they used to put the eyes on. And yeah, of the batch, I would say he's probably my least favorite, which is a shame because he's definitely my favorite NPC in the game. Next up is, I think, Chrissy? Chrissy, wake up! I don't like this! Yeah, so next up is Chrissy. Chrissy is part of Series 2. Very cute figure. Definitely, when you think about the fabric from these Tomodachi dolls, they work really well with pastel colors. So her likeness is very front and center. Like, it's captured perfectly. Definitely a good addition in terms of if you wanted to collect this whole series. Wolfgang, I think they captured him very well too. His dark blue, gray, as well as like his overall look. He definitely has the most attention to the face in my opinion, because there's like at least 6 different colors on his face in comparison to all the other characters. Blathers does have a bit more attention on his head because of the dots, but I think Wolfgang definitely takes the cake when it comes to details on the face. The main downside with Wolfgang's figure is that the base stand that came with his figure, it's only holding his tail, so it makes it kind of hard to pose him because he can easily get dislodged and fall face flat. Aside from that, still a very good figure. Lastly, of the figures that I opened up is Francine. Like what I said about Chrissy and the use of pastel with this fabric for these Tomodachi dolls. Very, very good figure as well too. Yeah, that's about it with these figures. They're all really good, except Blathers. So some things you guys can keep in mind when they make for really good desk display items, but also if you guys were ever trying to build like a diorama of the Animal Crossing villagers, this scale is a lot better in comparison to the Animal Crossing Amiibo series, just because 2 inches, there's a lot more freedom to like build stuff around. I also had put next to Dom like this candy ball machine miniature that we had picked up a while ago to make it look like it was something that he could eat, as well as we have like this brain to scale. I don't know why. Again, well, Animal Crossing had some wacky decorations too. So yeah, just keep them in that mind. These figures can be really good diorama. And yeah, that's about it with these figures. If you guys like this video, feel free to like and subscribe. And feel free to tell me who your favorite villager is from Animal Crossing, as well as which of these figures was your favorite. And as always, I will see you guys for the next one. Bye!